Is Dan Geltrude, adjunct professor at Montclair State University. Good morning, Dan. Okay, sad state of affairs when such an iconic brand no longer wants to even be in New York. I mean, what happens to community when a brand like Remington leaves its longtime home?
Well, it devastates the local community. In this particular case, you're talking about 300 locals that are losing their jobs. That's bad, but that has a trickle-down impact to the rest of the community. I mean, it's going to impact retail. It's going to impact so many different businesses in the community. And when these things happen, literally, you have a situation where you create a ghost town. Let's hope that's not the case, but it looks like it's going in that direction, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so Remington is actually not the only business moving. So a new study is now showing the record number of businesses. They're moving from these high-tax liberal states like, of course, California, New York, to move to business-friendly states. I mean, and where are these companies moving to? So the report is now showing Florida, obviously, reigning supreme, followed by Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Arizona. Dan, what kind of tax incentives are we seeing being offered by these states compared to those liberal-run major states we often think about as business hubs?
So these states are offering grants, loans, tax credits, tax breaks, lower taxes, and on top of that, the cost of living is lower. And in the case of Remington, going to a state that is more friendly to the Second Amendment. So when you put all these factors together, there are huge incentives to move out of basically high-cost, high-tax states to move to business-friendly states where the cost of living is lower, and of course, taxes are lower if not even have any taxes at all. Like Florida is such a great place to go to because there is no state income tax.
Exactly. Florida is becoming more and more popular for that exact reason. But what effect does the epidemic of crime we see across American cities have on businesses' choices to move to one of these states that you just mentioned?
Yeah, it's the same theory, right? Because if you have either employees or customers, clients, whatever the case is, if they don't feel safe, they're not going to these locations. And look, it's not law enforcement's fault. They're not able to do their job. If we just let them do their job, these neighborhoods would become far more safe, businesses would come back, and you'd have a much more vibrant community where everyone benefits.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, look at Oakland, California. I mean, that is the perfect case study to look at when it comes to businesses moving out of cities, moving out of states due to crime. Dan Geltrude, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It is always a pleasure to have you.
Thanks, Alex.